Okay. Wow. I think we're into October 1st. I could be wrong. I'll have to look at the calendar. It's been a couple days since I've needed to look at the calendar, so I'm not 100% sure. But I'm either in the last day of September or the first day of October. 38 degrees outside. 50 degrees inside the shop. As soon as I opened that shop door, I could tell there was a difference. Last Sunday was the last time I was in the shop with the camera on. Last Monday, I went to Williston. I came back and got an evening that I could work in this shop. And I forgot to bring my camera. I left it in the semi. I got out of there in a hurry and left it in my semi. So I did not make a video of what I did that day. But basically what I did was a whole lot of sand work back there at the fillets. And I wanted to put some fiberglass, and I'm waiting on this phone. Here we go, the camera. And I wanted to put some fiberglass tabbing in. And I did not, I realized I still have some fillet work to do. There's some holes back there that did not come out as nice as I wanted them to. So I stopped there and decided I was not going to do that. So, what did I do? I came in and I started cleaning up those areas back there, and I started working on the holes that I had. I mean, the air pockets that I had that I needed to grind out. And I wanted to round these edges over. And I started on this down in here, and when I had this down in here like so, I was grinding on that edge there to round these over, and I realized that this was not bonded to the wood, and it was loose. And even though it was cured on the outside and dry on the outside, the inside was still very tacky and wet. And here I am a week later, and so I realized that it needed more cure time, or it was never going to cure. Well, I see now it did in fact cure with it open to the air, and this stuff is supposed to cure when it's not open to the air. So, wow. What I do know is it was not glued or laminated to the board. So I have some testing I have to do before I'll move forward. When I pulled that big transom board out, I noticed that the top board that was behind that fiberglass was a piece of plywood, and the very bottom board around the drain hole was just a 2x4. And I even made a video of it about it not bonding to that 2x4, and it bonded well to the plywood but not the 2x4. There was no lamination on the actual wood, and that's actual wood. So I don't know if I'm getting any, and when I look at that right there, it looks glued all the way through, it looks cured all the way through, and that's kind of what this over here was looking like. And I intend to expose all of the stringers, both of them, what I'm going to find. And I intend to round over the edges. But before I put down any more glass, I'm going to do some testing. This piece of board right here is a new piece of cedar that I bought, and I've got extra of that cedar over there. And with the plywood, how is plywood made? It's made with pieces of wood glued together. And I don't know if any of that glue is on the outside of the piece of plywood or not. I don't know if any of that residue is out there. I know that when I waterproofed the plywood with resin, that process went pretty good. This is plywood that has been waterproofed and covered in CSM. The CSM had no problem bonding. It's like one piece. I would have to work very hard to take a hammer and chisel and get that fiberglass off that wood. if I wanted to go that route. And that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for lamination. The backside of 1708 is CSM. Put down any extra CSM over that wood for bite. And I didn't think I needed to do any extra waterproofing if I wet the wood out. Well, I did not get lamination on that piece that you see that I cut up. That much I know. So I want to clean up my vacuum cleaners and clean out this bilge and expose all of that wood and turn on some light in here that hopefully will be heat producing enough to bring this temperatures back up to where I may consider doing some peanut buttering, I may consider doing some waterproofing, I may consider doing some testing, but I don't believe I'm going to do any land until my tests convince me that I'm on the right track. The board that was here, and I cut the original fiberglass off of it, I immediately said I think it needs some dry time. And I'm wondering if there isn't some moisture in the actual wood that's keeping it. I just think I'm missing some things here. I think there was some humidity issues. I think there was some MEKP issues. And I think this is not glued to the wood, and I think that's my goal. So I think I want to start with sanding it down. I mean, exposing it, seeing how much more is laminated to it, and then going from there. Give you some clue what I'm talking about here is that doesn't feel too bad. In other words, this stuff may have cured all the way out and bonded it to the wood. Right there is a piece that's not laminated to the wood. And I intend to rip all this stuff up because of how bad the job went. Just so I can start over, round over, and make better decisions. I want to put a fillet on this edge here. I'm waiting on my camera again. Let me wait on the camera and see if it ever wants to actually play nice today. Camera, why is the camera stopped? I don't know, the camera did, it stopped. I'll put some fillets down the back edges of these when I get it done, just to make that area easier to bond to. I apologize for the camera stopping, but it did, it officially stopped. So I'm gonna go change some oil, get my vacuum cleaners ready, do some cleaning up in here and continuing the tear out. I don't know that I'm doing much in the way of any kind of fiberglassing today because of the temperatures. And we'll see how that part goes, but I'm not going to be in here all day because it's deer season and duck season, and you got so many things I need to do before I actually go do any of that. So I'll play a little while. You have a great day.